copy.
I'm going to write them down.
After the tap, this is the third game of the season opener, 2009 season, 2009. I'm your host, the Nesta Dudley, along with Go Ref Go in the cable cast booth, and Bradworth Benton behind the camera.
Give it a little, do a little switcheroo.
Yeah, switch it up. Don't want things to get stale.
Well, plus my back is killing me and his voice is hurt, so it works out perfect.
Yes. Because I really didn't want to do the camera, but...
Well, so it works out even better.
Yes, I really want to do the camera, but I...
Oh, you did want to do it?
No, I did not.
Oh.
But I volunteered because I realized that you did it for 2 games. So you should probably announce if anybody else in hearing us would like to come down and help.
That's right. Don't have to be here all day. I'm here all day. It'll, you know, just one game every now and then will help. You know, we're not asking a lot from you.
Oh, we can have Andy even help on camera.
Yeah, that's right. Evil Andy. Well, he's right now. He's replenishing himself. He's replenishing from that exciting Laker victory in the second game. Nestor, did the Lakers cover your bet, your spread?
They covered the spread, but Beanie Amos was displeased because the Lakers let the Sonics back in the game in the second quarter. That was.
But they did do a nice job. They did do a nice job holding off the Sonics.
They did held off the Sonics.
And the Lakers.
What was interesting about that game, Go Ref Go, was that the Sonics never had the lead.
Never, not once. We said that. We did mention that, and it was at one point a 10-point lead or 12-point lead for the Lakers, and I believe it was the first game in a long time the Lakers never lost a lead. Good way for the Lakers to start their game, and a good way, finally, for the Hawks to get on the boards, 2-0, finally. Poor Commissioner Mazan's all by himself over there.
Yes.
Hey, why don't you have Andy do camera and you go help Kenny? Because Kenny's all by himself. He's not even putting the points on.
When Andy's done with his soda, I'll have him jump on. Or Andy can jump up here and I can help Commish. Oh, come on. I want to get off this. He's jumping on the book.
Oh, okay, good.
I wanted to write down all the practice stuff.
Well, get over there then if you're helping him.
Oh, he's taking the camera. Yeah, I like it.
So, to switch things up yet again,
yeah.
Evil Andy has now taken control of the camera. As soon as we have a break in the action. 3-2. Nestor, what happened?
I don't know. We were trying to figure out who's
they
going
hit
to
a
do
3
what.
or a 2 or...
Yeah, no, Kenny's up by himself. I know. I'll go over there, and at halftime we can switch. Oh, all right.
Nestor?
Yes.
Pick 'em.
I'm going Pistons. The Hawks do not have a full squad on the floor.
Well, they're missing, I know, one starter at the very
least.
least.
Yeah, they're missing a key starter, so giving it to the Pistons.
And what is these? I know, you know, you're not Brad with
Pistons by 8.
Pistons by 8. Well, I was going to say, what is the scouting report on the Pistons? What do they got going for them?
The Pistons are a small team, and you know, they are guard heavy, but they are fast, and you know, they have a solid squad. I'm just not sure how much damage they can do down low. Right now, Charles Washington's their down low man, along with Kyle Rufo and Steve Sands. But even then, Kyle Rufo was a 5'8" center.
Hey, you know, I have a question to ask you, Nesta. You may or may not be able to answer this, and if you can't answer this, Brad and I were talking about it. It's a good question. If you ever get Coach Beanie Amos on Around the Rim, if you ever get to interview him on there, it'd be a good question for you to ask. Why? I mean, Brad and I mentioned that Coach Amos has had the most players come back as coaches, but they never come back and stay on the Lakers as a coaching staff. Why is that? How come they go to other teams? If you can't answer that, it'd be a nice question to ask Beanie Amos.
Because they aspire to become a head coach, and basically Beanie's not going to give it the position until he's dead and buried. Yes. So that's what it is. That's what it basically is.
And I asked that question.
If Beanie was to retire tomorrow, all those other former Lakers that are coaches, they will all try to get the Lakers. Every last one of them.
Because we know we ran through the list. You've got obviously the most recent one that Coach Amos just played against.
Yes,
Jeremy Rocca. You've got Javon Walcott, Panako Stroud, Magic Riviere.
Chris Rogers, Milton Osborne, who was the other assistant for the Hawks.
Brad didn't mention Milton.
Milton Osborne, yep.
Or if he did, I didn't hear him.
I think there's another one out there that I can't think of right now.
Adam O'Brien, I believe.
Adam O'Brien, yeah. But he's not coaching, but
but he was at one point.
He was, yes.
And of course, Andy Robinson, we did mention.
Andy Robinson, Rashad Langston.
But I figured that might be one of the questions to add to the list if you ever do get Nesta, if you ever do get Beanie Amos on the show, which I would love to see, by the way. And I'd love to direct it, for that matter, seeing that,
I'd love to see that too.
Nice move underneath, but he couldn't follow it through, Nesta.
Finish.
I think it was Jim Valenti's flash that threw him off.
Yeah. That's a travel.
It is, and the refs called it. What do you think of these refs so far today, being that this is the third game?
I think
they did a pretty darn good job, if I may say so myself. And I'm not saying that with biasness.
I think in that second game they missed some calls. I questioned their consistency on the second game, but other than that, it's all good.
Good D.
Probably. I mean, I'm just saying,
Sort of a back and forth game on the court, but not on the scoreboard, Nesta. Not too much scoring, not too much offense on both sides. It's been 7-2 for the past 2.5 minutes. By the way, I have gotten away all 3 games without you guys having me to ask. I've asked you guys to pick them. You guys haven't asked me, which is good. I have been getting away with it. And I have missed the Jamboree every year.
Well, that's why I'm not going to ask you. It wouldn't be fair to ask.
But I will once the season gets going. I wait for the first around the rim with you and Brad. And you guys go through all of that, all the information, the
goings and the
goings,
goings.
and then I make my choices from there on up. I like to look at it from a fan perspective. I don't, because the Jamboree is sort of like for insiders like yourself and Brad, the other coaches.
Come on, Pistons!
Which, by the way, you could say that the Around the Rim tapings are worldwide tapings because they are available on the web at atrlive.com.
Yes.
And you can say essentially that these tapings are worldwide tapings too, because even though the games in its entirety only air on MATV, the highlights are shown on Around the Rim on
atrlive.com.
And you can view the results of these games at
atrlive.com
or MNBL19.tripod.com.
Yes, like I said, atrlive.com.
Well, I mean, if you can't remember MNBL19.com, you can always just go to
MNBL19.tripod.com.
If you can't remember that, you can always go to atrlive.com and get the link.
Click on the link. Yep.
And did you know, I'm sure you know, but if these viewers aren't aware of it by now, you can purchase all of the MNBL merchandise
On MNBL19.tripod.com. It's on the first page.
That's right.
It's on the front page. It's
reasonable prices and all the proceeds, of
all
course.
reasonable prices. But when you look at the link is done the tacky way. The entire completely.
Well, that's the webmaster. We won't go there, Nesta. We won't go there.
tacky.
Webmaster's not the most experienced in the world, but you know, it is all volunteers here.
I actually told him he was the only one on the planet that does it that way. The only one.
Well, he's unique. By the way, did you see that move down low to make it piston ball?
No, I missed it.
Oh, it's a good move. It's a save. Good hand in the face there. Ooh, that was a questionable slappage of the glass there. That was late, very late, but the refs let him get away with it. Pistons are holding for last shot there, Nesta. Deep deuce. And 4 seconds left of the first period. He's hitting it. Going for the three was a bad shot. Does it count? No, it doesn't count. You know, Bradworth Fenton left me his stat sheets, but I can't even look at them because I can't put numbers and names together because we're not in the official uniforms of the MNBL yet.
We'll have the official uniforms next week.
You said this is what, going old school, huh?
Old school, yeah. Throwback look.
It's good to, you know, go retro every now and then. And what places, respectively, did these two teams come in last year? Do you remember, Nesta?
The Pistons came in 5th place, and the Hawks came in 2nd place, I believe.
So not too much history carrying over from last
Hawks came in 3rd place. Sonics came in 2nd place. Sixers came in 1st place. And the Bulls came in 4th place.
Nesta, you know, you've got to take the lead here. You're the more experienced
yeah, but I'm tired. Well, you can always take the lead. I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of these players are not returners. I don't know them, too. Like, I know there's Brandon Naylor with the ball right now. He's a returner.
Any ALBL graduates on these two teams that you recognize?
Not that I recognize.
I guess this year, if more than any other year in the past, you could make the claim that the Al-Lock League, the ALBL, is the official now minor leagues of the MNBL.
Yes. Been made official last season.
Because we've got quite a few ALBL graduates that are in this league this year. You know, my brother played in the ALBL last year.
Really?
Only for a couple games, yeah.
Oh. Then he got bored with it?
Well, no, I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Oh, okay. How was your brother doing? By the way, scores 11 and 9 at the combo of 20. Oh, that's a nice pass. He has to finish.
Nice pass. And the shot went around the rim.
It did.
You know, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the 2009 MNBL season. It's now officially underway, and I'm also looking forward to the 2009 ATR season.
That first show was always a first. It's always a good show. That 1 hour, either the preseason or season opener, depending on if it's
On Brad's availability?
well, no, depending on if it's recorded before or after the Jamboree, basically depending on where New Year's falling,
Right.
the New Year's Day falling.
Correct.
I have to tell you, a lot of folks tuned in this Thursday thinking it would be on, but that was the first day of the year. That's a holiday. It's not my contract to do a show on a holiday.
They get double time for that.
Yes.
That ain't happening.
That's not going to happen.
They barely pay for your ticket up from Bucktown.
Yeah, I know. MATV, the facility itself's not even open that day.
Yeah, because then you got to pay the staff double
Yeah,
time, too.
so, you know.
And it's not in my contract as a director.
It's in no one's contract.
But it's good that there's a demand for it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little reach in there, but no call.
And what I would have done in the past Refco is that I would have arranged for the last show of the season before to play in that slot. But you don't need to do that with the internet at your fingertips. You can go to hrlive.com. Yeah, you could click on whatever you want. You can get your around the rim fixed.
Year round, even during the summer.
365.
And did you know that when you go into Google, which is the world leader, the internet leader in search engines, and type in MNBL, you find what you're looking for if you're looking for this league, because it comes up number one. And if you go into Google Video, same thing. Can't say the same if you type in ATR, but if you type in MNBL, it comes up.
Okay.
It has to do with keywords. And
Yes. I understand how it works.
I know you do. I'm explaining to the viewers. But I'm just saying, that's a good thing, because there's a lot of websites out there, and MNBL is very common letters.
Yes.
Come on, Pistons.
By the way, I know this is technically not basketball related, but it is MNBL related in a way, because
Basket by Charles Washington. Yep.
because it relates to Kenny Mizonson, the commissioner of the MNBL. And as you know, I'm an off basketball season. I'm a baseball umpire.
Yes.
And I got the pleasure to do 2 Kenny Mizonson games.
Oh, yes?
One Little League and one Senior Babe Ruth League game. And the Little League game was a road to Williamsport. It was a big game. I do have to say, he is an intense coach.
I think he had like a undefeated season going.
In the Little League, yes, but this was the postseason. This was the All-Stars, District 12 All-Stars, the road to Williamsport. I believe if he had won that game, his team would have went on to the finals to tour for the state championship to go to Williamsport. For those who followed it, Parkway won. Medford beat Malden, Kenny Mizonson's team, and then Medford got killed by Parkway, and Parkway got killed by everybody else. Massachusetts got knocked out in the first round. It's a high score in the first half here, Nesta. 14-11. Back to the game here. And it's very quiet huddles on both sides. So what just happened in front of us with Bernardo Stroud, by the way? He come over and stole something from the Pistons bench?
And stole the dry erase marker from Paul Conrad's clipboard. But you know what? If Paul Conrad refuses to bring his clipboard into the huddle, actually, you know what? Howard Jones should have been on guard. I blame that on Howard Jones.
Well, Lisa's right here, too, She could have just...
Yeah, what is she going to do? She just stood there with her mouth open. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. She saw a theft in progress.
He was lightning quick, He must have learned that from Coach Amos.
I doubt that. Coach Amos always walked the straight and narrow. And I don't even think that they even have any plans on returning it.
Oh, no, of course not. I don't even think Coach Paul Conrad knows it's gone.
No, he'll find out soon.
He will when he goes to the sports. Yeah, I know.
He'll find out soon.
What? I'd like to see him try to fry it off of Jovan's hands.
When he calls that first time out, goes to that board, that right hand be shaking. Dope!
all by himself. He drew the foul. He got lucky there. He's lucky he didn't lose the handle there. He was dribbling very frantically, Nesta. Another good thing to mention, too, while we got a little downtime here, Nesta, is the fact that the support that the MNBL had today with all the fans in the stands.
Yes.
There was no place to sit. I couldn't even yell at the people standing behind me because they had no place to go.
And that should turn into revenue at the concession stand.
I looked over at the concession stand, and it looked like they did pretty well today.
Good.
Maybe the prices will go down next season. But they've been going up every year since.
We were talking about
See that? All of us. Oh, the combos, I shot Brad out 2-0 last
did
game.
you?
I only had 2 opportunities, but...
Okay, sit, guys.
You know, we have a tie game of 14. And you had...
16 of 14, that's a combo of 30. And you were looking right at it.
And I was going into it, too, but you stole it from me. I was going to say you picked the Pistons to win. What do they have to do to take a lead here in the second half? Because we are coming to the close of the first half soon. About another 3.5 minutes.
The Pistons...
Well, first of all, do you think they have the momentum right now to take a lead and maintain one going into the second half?
I think they do. Like I said, it's going to be tough for the Hawks because one of their weapons is not playing today. So it's going to be hard for them.
Saying that, though, they have been hanging right with the Pistons. I mean, it's only a 2-point difference right now, as you so pointed out a few minutes ago.
He has to finish.
Good putback, though.
By McCoy.
Lost the handle. Hot potato there, Nesta.
Yep.
Don't give him time to set up. Yes.
Who is that just sat down number 20 there? He's a returner.
Yes, that's Jace Carl. Jace Carl, third-year senior.
I've seen him every year. He takes the ball on his own, huns it from one end of the court to the other, scores maybe, I think from what I see, 25% of the time. I could be wrong on that.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he goes back to the bench, he always goes back to the bench with a gas face on, with a grimace, with a frown, and he's always getting yelled at by his coaches.
Well, he's consistent.
I'm surprised he's not on the hotheads list. I know we don't commit that many. I don't know if he commits that many fouls, but he's definitely a hothead. I think we got to revise the criteria. Javon Walcott might as well just have the Pistons in his huddle. He's talking so loud I can hear his plans from all the way over here. Two words that Javon Walcott just said to his team. It's probably the key to them coming back in this game. Wake up.
Wake up.
Because it looks like the Hawks are like sleeping on the court. The past few minutes they've been letting the Pistons run past them with the ball.
Right there.
Point seen right there. Lackadaisical passes, Nesta.
Do it again.
He's wondering about that. The guy came down with a tomahawk chop and almost took the poor kid's head off.
I know. He hasn't hit this league. No one's ever committed a foul. They all got clean hands.
Thought somebody did something good. There was so much slappage of the flesh. I thought somebody was clapping their hands.
I think
4 fouls committed there, but they only call 1.
I think McCoy's coming out.
He needs to. He's a little out of control right now. A little out of control.
Yeah, McCoy is coming out. I call that one.
He's happy with his out of controlness, though. He's got a big smile on his face.
But I tell you what, though, I like his sneakers.
Yeah, I do too.
And they're Adidas's too.
Oh, they're the best kind?
All I ever wear, Adidas.
Well, normally that's all I wear too.
Come on, Pistons. Play tough. Play strong.
All day I dream about something.
Yes.
Move it around, guys.
Good block there.
He just called for it now. Oh, I thought he said that he had to use it. He called it, but did he have to use it? I thought he changed his mind.
That was a little too late though, then, Esther.
Do I have to use it even though I called it?
Referee Dave, a little added commentary there. Timeout White. Yes, he got it.
Yeah.
Probably unnecessary, but I think he was asking too where he gets the ball when he comes back. It's been a long day today in the opening day. Games got started late. Been even longer for you because you were here for the ALBL games.
I was here at 10 o'clock.
It's going to be like 7 o'clock. The cameraman's younger than all of us. Bad inbound, but what was that? What, Nesta? What was that?
That was a turnover.
And then he's just sitting there pouting.
Who? Oh,
I said he's just sitting there pouting.
He's working hard, but
he's not doing much except causing turnovers for his team.
Get in there.
Commissioner Mazzar's not using the PA system today, huh?
it's not working. Inoperable.
I knew there was something missing all day today. You know you don't have to. I know it. I was talking to you. Just letting you know. It's not working. It's making a humming noise. Come on, Brandon.
Come on, Pistons.
Next year, Nestor, we definitely got to go up to carpool together up to North Reading to take that basketball course.
Oh yeah. That was Andover.
Oh yeah. That's it. Even further.
Let's try. Back, guys.
North Andover. That's where I got the north part.
Oh, okay.
Less than a minute left in the half. The first half.
Oh yeah, so we should get in the position.
Well, you can. I'm not one for being
That's
on
right.
camera. Not yet. Not until I make my court debut. Which almost was this year, by the way.
Stuck the landing. Yes.
Come on, guys.
Here we go.
Oh, get up on him now. Crunching!
By the way, Nessa, that's a very colorful bandana you got today.
That's with the shirt and the sneakers.
Ah, well, the laces anyway.
Yeah.
Is that a Tom and Jerry shirt?
You are correct.
Oh, that's we got away with one there. Oh no, we didn't actually. He didn't get. He didn't go to make an attempt to get up. Five seconds left, Brad. Yeah, Nesta. I was calling Brad Nesta earlier, and I'm calling Nesta Brad. It's been a long day.
You can get fired for that.
It was a travel.
He's right. That was a travel. That was a travel.
Let it go.
Javon Walcott is right. That was a travel. But nothing can be done about it right now. 23-14. Pistons are up. See you at the half.
I'm the base umpire. Live ball to right field. Catches it. There's a runner on first. The kick goes back to first. Right? Boom! Stays. Medford starts flipping out because they thought he was out. Right? I made the base call. Flipping out. Hey, 1. Shut up, everybody. Right? The very next pitch, 2-run home for Kenny T to tie the game. All right. Medford starts flipping out at me. That's your ball. That's your ball. See you later. Right? Wouldn't you know that game went 10 innings? 3 hours of that game. In every inning that went on. From Medford.
Sands with the putback, and go ref go. We have Chris Rogers, head coach of the Kings, behind the camera.
I thought it was just Andy casting a big shadow, but now I know why.
Come on, Pistons.
Wow, we got some unexpected stepping up today. That's good.
Unexpected what?
Unexpected stepping up.
Yes.
You know, it's unexpected that.
We got help.
Yeah, our cries have been answered. Well, you know, Commissioner Mizanson really needs to help more than us because, you know, I mean, I could do camera, but
no, I mean
it's tough for Kenny to do the book by himself.
That score tables is important, you know, because, you know, as a head coach, you just look up and you see that you scored, but the numbers don't advance, and you're not thinking that he's at the table by yourself. You're just thinking, oh, he possibly missed it. That's your first instinct, because you don't want to give away any points.
It alters the game. Wow, I heard that one. Oh, he's calling 3 seconds, no foul. Oh, referee Dave, and I'm not sure this other referee.
Kevin.
Were both explaining to me the call before the halftime, the end of the half, the inbound that Javon Walcott was wanting for a foul. A traveling call. It is not a traveling call. There is a 3-foot radius in which he can step left or right, front or back, as long as it's across the line. There's a 3-foot radius that he can step before it's a violation. And once he crosses that 3-foot radius, it is not a traveling call, it's just a violation.
Oh, guys, come on!
Back in the day, they used to be called a traveling call.
No! Somebody get that!
So there's clarity on that question. I'm doing my job. I'm a broadcast journalist.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
By the way, after that relay of information from referee Dave, he went on to quiz me on several other questions related to the rules of the game. And I did not bad. for not ever taking the test, of
Yeah.
course. They're not bad. A couple I got wrong. But he was throwing out some awkward situations that wouldn't happen in a million lifetimes. And he even said that, too.
Oh.
And, of course, Kevin was saying to me, now watch, that'll happen this weekend, and it'll be all hell breaking loose. Because he brought it up. It's one of those Murphy's Law things.
Oh.
And I hear him because, you know, I've had that happen myself. I've seen it happen here, as a matter of fact.
Come on, guys. Good shot now. Good shot.
2 Good steal. Bad pass.
32-14 with 5 minutes and 45 ticks left to go in the third.
Come on, Ted, step up.
Aggressive basketball by the Pistons.
And Paul Conrad's doing flips. He's getting ready to take that walk down Ferry Street.
He's walking. He's going.
He's taking a walk down Ferry Street. For the very first time this season.
Paul Conrad, the concession stand is closed. Come back into the court. Who is that?
I don't think that walk has been happening for a long time.
Oh no, maybe he wants to get the walk out of the way.
Well, it was an aggressive steal and then just a bad pass.
What was that?
Bad pass. I can hear him all the way over here saying, we got the turnovers, we have to score. I would say that's true, Nesta.
Mm-hmm.
I would say scoring is a vital part of the game.
Not here.
Oh, boy.
We thought you were taking that walk down Pleasant Street, Coach Paul.
You know what? I was gonna, and then I was like, you know what? I'm too old to take.
I mean, not Pleasant Street, Ferry Street. I said Pleasant, I meant Ferry. You might have ended up on Pleasant, but.
You may have gotten some serious
Yeah.
Go!
Another bad pass by the Hawks,
God, guys.
and then another turnover back again by the Pistons. You know, I saw this in the last game. This was the demise, or the MO, I should say, of the last game against the Lakers.
3-ball drop.
The Sonics,
Daniel.
Sonics were not capitalizing on a lot of the Lakers' turnovers, and in turn they could not catch up to the Lakers.
The Lakers played a terrible first half. Even in the first quarter when they up 12-4, Pete Amos told me they played terrible.
Well, throughout the whole game, even in the third quarter, when the Sonics started to make a comeback on the Lakers, it was because they were finally capitalizing on the Lakers' turnovers. Now, granted, the Pistons are up 35-16 on the Hawks, but if they keep continuing to miss opportunities, it may not stay that way for much longer.
Brandon Naylor, he can hit those.
That's good color commentary, if I don't ask. Lost the handle.
Go! Go!
Oh, he's on the line. Oh, double dribble there.
Yeah.
Look at Ref Dave. Look at Ref Dave ice grilling Coach Paul Conrad.
He used up the one double dribble that he calls last game.
Rebound, guys, get it!
Oh, injury? No. It's a little dramatic.
Get some help first! Wait for the help!
Here we go.
Grab the rebound! Good try, Eddie. Come on, Pistons, play tough out there, aggressive.
35-16, Pistons up, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in the third. That was a violation I thought he got away with, double dribble. They're going to call it.
Yeah, they call. They whistle.
I don't know who that person is. Again, we don't have the numbers.
White 5'4", but it doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter
it's on
down
their
there,
actual
yes.
jersey, right?
We didn't shoot many of them. I think they were good. I have to take a look. We didn't go in the line at all the first half, I don't think.
They didn't go in the line that much in the second half.
Definitely got some good free throws.
Come on, Pistons, keep up the intensity.
You guys kept sending the same sonic play from the line every time in that second half.
Yeah.
Oh!
There's a turnover. See if the Hawks can capitalize.
Come on, guys, don't let it get away from you.
Number 28 over there looks all like Joe Young. On the Pistons.
That's because that's his nephew.
Looks almost like his younger brother, for crying out
It's
loud.
his nephew.
If he had the big hair like him, like he used to have, or the mohawk like he's got now.
Junior Sands. Not Junior Sands, Steve Sands.
One of the things that referee Dave was telling me about was the jump ball. And the question to me from him was, how many times can a jumper tap a jump ball?
Indefinitely.
Wrong.
How many times?
3. Anything more than 3 is a violation. You know, without tapping. You know, I'm
Yeah.
talking about you
Yeah.
can tap it. If it hits somebody else, then that's irrelevant. But I'm saying, 1, 2. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't need the visual. I know what you're
I
talking
know,
about.
but I'm just trying to put it into words. You got the visual, but the viewers don't have the visual. It's not good commentary. Got to put it into words. And both tappers' hands tap it, and it goes up into the air. They can tap it 3 times before it's a violation. And I'm not sure what the consequences are.
You're not sure what?
What the consequences are of a violation.
It would be loss of possession of the team ball.
A lot of things to know as an official. That test is going to be tough. Hope they have a good teacher.
Maybe they'll have the crib notes, the monarch notes, cliff notes.
Well, if it's anything like the baseball test, no, it wouldn't be anything. Well, it might be. What?
Stay home with it.
It's a good job getting his own rebound, but then he decided to run back down court before the ball went through the hoop.
Oh,
Be patient, guys.
that was a nice lead pass to Rufo.
That was. Rufo put it in. Now him I know.
A baseball thing.
Yeah, well he's a catcher, and and me being a home plate umpire most of the time, he talks to me the entire 7 innings. To the point where the other batters be like, "Hey, get in here." Nice kid, though.
Rufo's filling the lane again.
Oh, there's a foul. Gets up with a big smile on his face. Well, so far he's 1,000% at the line. Well, 1% technically. Now he's shooting 50%.
Come on, guys, stop seeing. Go! Take that!
We're about 10.5 minutes away from the first opening day coming to a close.
That would be nice because I'm tired.
I hear you. Oh, wide open lane. The and one. The C's parted on that one. I got one.
You got a catchphrase, now you got to just remember it. But you still can't remember the way you had 5 years ago.
Was it only 5? I thought it was longer.
It could have been longer.
C's parted on that one. Right. I'm having a good day today.
Come on, guys. Oh, guys, drop them. Go!
Good no-look pass. Nesta, after 3 periods are finished, we have the Pistons 42 on top of the Hawks 24. Reverse those numbers.
Yes, 42, the reciprocal of 42 is 24.
And the final period is about to begin. And it seems like your prediction is coming true, and it almost seems like the Pistons are running away with this. The Sonics just can't seem to have anything working for them.
The Hawks.
I mean, the Hawks, I mean.
Like I said, it's tough for the Hawks because the Hawks, their main player is sitting on a bench.
But
They have
that's
another
one
player.
player.
They have another player that's missing in
One
action.
player.
Well, that's 2 players technically. There's one player that's in the
Technically,
house,
yes.
and there's the other player that's not in the house at all. So they got 2 players that they're missing. 2 of their better players.
Not a very good way to start the
No, it's
season, though.
You know, when you have 14 games,
And that one-star player that you were talking about that's missing, he may be missing all season because from what I overheard, it seems that he's going to be he moved out of the city, and he's going to be having a hard time getting down every weekend.
yeah, that other player, if he's not here for the Hawks, then the Hawks is going to, Hawks going to have a long season. They're going to have a long season if they do not have that player.
That's tough. That's a tough draft pick result for the Hawks. I'm sure they didn't know that when they drafted.
No, absolutely not. The draft is not an exact science. You draft at your own risk.
No one, the NBA draft.
No one in the league ever wants to see any team get shafted in the draft. But unfortunately, there's no way of preventing it ahead of time. Injure me.
And that's a score of 46-24, which is a combo of 7.
Go on, you were sitting there for 10 minutes.
I just didn't want to get shut out.
Good try, guys. Good try. Yes. Good job, Kyle.
Charge call. Kyle had his feet planted. Kyle Rufo. Good job taking the charge because he's a big kid, so it's a really good job for him taking that charge. And as far as that combo thing, I know I'm not going to beat you today, but I just didn't want to get shut out today. Was not going to happen. Not opening day.
Good job, Kyle.
The Hawks are just standing there. They're not even jumping to try and get the ball. I seen a lot of pair of hands go up, but they were all Piston players. The Hawks have given up on this
Did you
game.
say the Sox?
I was saying the Hawks giving up
about
on
the
this
Boston
game.
Red Sox. Do you know you could see them and the other teams on the MLB network that just kicked
Started
off?
January 1st.
Is it?
I was watching the MLB network 2 weeks prior to them going on the air because they had all the
Because they had, yes, I was watching it too.
counting down to the days.
Yes, I was watching it too, yes. MNBL
MLB
network,
network.
24 hours.
And is that all
24/7.
available?
That's
Is
what-
that available on Comcast or
and-
just Verizon? Is that,
I have Comcast.
oh, so, okay.
Yeah, so
I got to tell you,
I was watching.
you got to switch.
At least I
gotta
found,
switch.
At least I found out where Hazel May went.
Yes, she went to the MLB network. Same thing with Harold Reynolds.
Yeah, but I like to look at Hazel May.
I hear you. I could just put her on mute. Tina Savasio is gone too, I believe.
Is she?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh.
Same reasons. She wanted more money. They said
Oh. So she'll probably end up on the MLB.
probably.
network?
Yep. Huh?
It was it.
I can hear the Hawks coaches moaning that they're up by 24 points and they're still pressing us.
No. He put it in.
Huh?
He put it in. That's the first time they did it today. He put it in.
Well,
They all.
calm is wow, some strong words. Strong words. Now, isn't the Hawks guilty of doing the same thing, running up the score against their opponent? Oh no, I'm thinking of Magic.
It's not. They're not.
Magic has done it.
They're not yelling that he's running up the score. They're yelling that he called a timeout to put in the press, and they're up by 25. That's what the issue is. Not necessarily running up the score.
Well, hey, you got to secure your lead. Can't grudge a guy for that. You got to secure your lead. Coaches of the Hawks are all over Coach Paul Conrad of the Pistons. Whoa!
Oh, that was unnecessary. That was completely unnecessary.
Could have severely hurt somebody
Yes.
doing that. Jump ball, but I would have called a violation on that. Technical. And of course, what was his name? What's his name?
Which one are you talking about?
The Afro.
Jace Kyle.
Jace Kyle, of course. Remember I said he was a hothead.
Yes.
You see him trying to incite a little something going on there? With the loud clapping. I have to say it comes from the coaches of the Hawks yelling loudly for the entire gym to hear that karma is a bleep because it reflects back down onto the players. Nesta, you know what I'm saying is true.
I hear you.
Save that stuff for off the court. Coaches are to blame for that one. I understand frustration, but you know.
Oh, it's getting ugly. Ugly plays, getting ugly. Ugly.
You know, it always seems to break down in the final minutes of the third game of the day. You ever notice that? It's always that game.
People are tired. They want to go home. I know I'm tired. I want to go home.
Yeah, but you ain't playing. Got a little tunes coming from the cameraman here,
No,
Coach Chris Rogers.
He actually does good on Guitar Hero.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I hear that game is very addictive.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He could kill Beat It on Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger, huh?
He has trouble with Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Let's talk about some of the, seeing that this game is pretty much a blowout, let's talk about some of the non-televised games happening tomorrow.
I know there was a schedule around here.
Well, she just took them, I think.
I don't think the schedule's in there.
No?
I think those are just the rosters.
Is there a schedule in there? There it is. Tomorrow's Sunday's non-televised games.
First game tomorrow will be the Sonics against the Bullets. Bullets victorious today, Sonics lost. The second game will be Lakers versus Kings. And the third game will be the Sixers versus the Celtics. It'll be the Celtics' first game. Kings' first game tomorrow as well.
And the Kings tomorrow are going against a different Lakers team than what I've seen in the past. That's a tough one for me, you know, by the way. Those are two of my favorite teams, two of my favorite coaches.
Oh, the Lakers and the Kings?
Lakers and the Kings.
Will you be here tomorrow to watch the game?
No. No. Huh? Well, I'm not required to be here. So I can't.
That way you could come
upstand my contract.
So you could come tomorrow and just enjoy yourself. You won't have to worry about working.
True.
You can watch the game and truly appreciate the game.
Well, if one of the coaches wants to give me a ride, I'd be glad to show up.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I'm not doing public transportation on a Sunday.
I'm sure between B.D. Amos and Glenn Higgins, I'm sure one of them can get you here tomorrow. You would just have to be here for the first game.
Well, yeah, that's no problem. If I had to choose between those two coaches, I know which one I'm going to ask first, and which one I'm not even going to think about asking.
Which one would be more likely to happen?
Oh, that would be Coach Amos. Which is why the Lakers are above the Kings on that favorite list. Coach Amos, every once in a while, when you're not available to do so, buys me my cups of coffee on the weekends.
Yeah.
Although Coach Higgins does slide me a few slices of pizza trying to pay me off.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah, he's trying to grease your palm.
Yeah. I'm open for that. I like that. Can I say that? Can I repeat that? Because from Coach Rogers getting an old country whipping here. You know, I kind of saw this shaping up in the first two quarters, but you know, you can't really tell the first half of the game and the second half of the game. You know, it could always be two different games.
Tale of two different halves, yeah.
But if what happened, which it did, the pace of the first half kept up throughout the second, you knew that the Pistons were just going to continue this roll and blow away the Hawks. The Hawks just aren't playing today. And if the Hawks have to rely on one or two players, like you said, it's going to be a long season for them. And I'm interested to see how the coaches of the coaching staff of the Hawks are going to take the long season, how they're going to handle it.
Well, 2 seasons ago, they had a long season.
I know, and they didn't handle it too well. I remember.
But towards the end, that's because their first 3 years of the league, they finished in second place.
Right, so they're spoiled.
So then the 4th year was the lead year. So towards the end of the season, when they realized what was going on and that their team just couldn't compete, they changed their attitude. They had more fun with it, and they realized it was what it was. And then they retooled nicely last season to come in 3rd place.
Not to beat a dead horse, but and just what you were saying brings me to Around the Rim and the 1 hour special between yourself and Brad. I am anxious to find out your opinion and Brad's opinion on the goings and the not goings.
Well, we'll all tell you right now that we know that Brad's going to say that the Kings are going. Every year Brad say the Kings are going. So we already guessed one of them.
Right. But what I was leading into on that was, and I did this with Brad during the Lakers game, was give us a little preview of the goings and not goings between the two teams here.
If things turn out for the Hawks that they have lost one guy, one of their weapons, then I just don't see the Hawks going. The Pistons, I see the Pistons going, but for the last couple of seasons, I've always said the Pistons are going and then they don't go.
If looks could kill, I'd have to jump on a camera right now. That was almost a self-pass.
You really don't want to go there anyway. There's nothing good happens over there.
Nothing good happens in the madness.
You don't want to go.
Yeah. Just makes the season long.
In other words, whose man is that?
I think he had to change that because he kept on saying it.
Under a minute to go.
Oh, I can get into position.
Master Dudley anxious to get into position, hoping there's no more stoppage of the clock. Wants to wrap
We
this
know
up
it
and
ain't.
go.
We know it ain't going overtime.
Yes.
So it looks like the Pistons will improve to 1-0, and they are off tomorrow. So the Pistons have a perfect weekend.
Yes.
Hawks will drop down to 0-1, and they're off tomorrow. So they're going to have an imperfect weekend.
Yes. Kind of an odd matchup for the first weekend.
Well, it depends on, it's slated
know.
on how you finished the year before.
And there's also two teams that are that aren't playing today that are only playing tomorrow that have the same opportunity. That's the Kings
And the Celtics.
and the Celtics. Everybody plays the same amount of games in the end, though.
It's a 14-game schedule. 14-game schedule.
What would you rather have, a bye in the first weekend or a bye in the last weekend? It's a good question, huh?
Bye in the first weekend.
Yeah.
Bye in the first. Yes. What's tricky when you have 2 games the first weekend, like if you start off 0-2, then you got like 12 games left. That is rough.
Yeah. But if you start off 0-1
is okay.
Right. 0-1's not 0-1's not bad. It's not okay.
It's not okay, but it's not bad. 0-1, because then you can go and retool. 1-1's average.
And you got that break in between where you can.
1-1 an average. 2-0 is splendid, but 0-2 is rough.
That hurts, huh?
That's
the type of stuff that teams don't recover from.
Some teams can recover from it. Makes things hard.
So, speaking of 2-0, I would like to see tomorrow, no offense, I would like to see the Lakers have a perfect weekend for the first time in a long time.
Well,
I'd like to see the Lakers have a perfect starting weekend for the first time in a long time.
third game over, we see the Pistons 59, the Hawks 36.
So you knew.
For Go Ref Go, Chris Rogers behind the camera. That's Dudley saying we're seeing youth at the games.